Well, good afternoon, everybody. I am excited to share with you guys today about a way that you can do some free surveys. Okay. So, want to take a minute here and just tell me where you're listening from, watching from, and tell me what's going on. Love to hear how things are going. So again, I know a lot of you guys watch on the replay, so feel free to share where you're at, even on the replay. And I'm excited to share with you guys a little bit. So I know that a lot of churches, as part of your reopening strategy, is to survey your church and to kind of see where everybody's at, how they're feeling about reopening, how are they comfortable with reopening? Do they feel like well, we're available if this happens or not? And so I know a lot of churches are sending them out. There's a lot of really popular survey companies out there, like Survey Monkeys, probably the biggest one out there that I know I've used quite a bit over the years. But not everybody wants to pay for another monthly subscription just to do kind of a simple survey, right? So I know a lot of you probably aren't doing a lot of surveys throughout the year. And so to pay for a whole year or a monthly subscription for another little thing just to do once or twice over this next few months. But here's a free way of doing it. Okay. So again, this is not going to be like over the top glamorous, not going to be super analytical and give you all kinds of feedback, but it's going to do the job. I think if you're just trying to look for, how do we serve our church? Are people interested in coming back? Are they comfortable coming back? If that's all you're looking for to get, this will give you all that information. But again, it's just not very robust. It's not going to be over the top, but it's going to give you pretty much, I think, everything that you need just to get some of that basic reopening questions, those standard questions. Do you feel comfortable? All that kind of stuff. So here it is. You guys ready? So it's called Google Forms. Okay. I know that a lot of you guys have used Google Docs. I know for me, I used to always forget about Google Forms and Google Docs and Google all like slides, all that kind of stuff. But Google Forms is a great way to do a free assessment a survey of your church. Okay, so let me show it to you here. Okay, so all you're going to do is go in here to your forms. Okay, so I have one already written up. So again, you can come over here. You got docs, you've got sheets, you have slides, and you have forms. Okay, so if you're not already logged into Google, you don't have a Google account, you'll have to create a Google account in order to get into this. But you can go in, create a Google account, and then as soon as you have it, you have these free. You just go to docs.google.com and it'll automatically, ask you to log in, all that kind of stuff. But as soon as you do, you can come down here to forms, okay? And then it'll open back up and you've got a couple of these templates that you can jump into and use. But I made one down here, right here. And this is your church, the greatest church comeback, right? Okay. So maybe you might want to title it something different, but the greatest church comeback, right? Okay. You can edit that. You can type in, whatever, community, Christian fellowship of the Bible, right? Whatever your church name is, you can type it in there. And then just a little text here, hey, we'd love to get your thoughts about as we navigate, pivot, turn, whatever, term you want to use, right? So, we're just looking to get some feedback on how you guys are feeling about reopening, how comfortable you are, things like that. Okay. So again, right now, today, the next, May the 24th is this upcoming Sunday. So again, you might want to ask, how comfortable are you with coming back on the 24th? Not likely, very likely. Give me some more online Zoom, please. Okay, you probably don't have that as your option, but you can list whatever questions you have in here. So maybe, we've talked about a few different options here. So for example, like, would you attend a outdoor worship service in the parking lot, or would you attend an outdoor service where you stayed in your car? I know a lot of the big question right now is, Would you come back before there's childcare? Again, likely, not likely, all those kinds of things. Would you come back before there's youth services? Would you come in, whatever, June, middle of June? Is that when you want to come back? In the podcast I just recorded, actually, I just published it right now. You can go onto the Youth Pastors Roundtable podcast on YouTube. You can look for Renewed Leadership. Again, podcast, you can look for the the Pastors Roundtable podcast. Used to be called the Youth Pastors, now just called the Pastors Roundtable. But you can look for it there. We talk about having multiple venues open on the same church property. Okay. And so, for example, that could be one of your questions. Would you come back? Would you feel comfortable coming back in an environment where there's maybe 3 or 4 different rooms open for smaller groups? So again, maybe you've got your auditorium that maybe seats 100 people. You've got gymnasium that seats, 75 people. You've got a multi-purpose room that sits, does that feel comfortable for you to come back through different doors where you're only interacting with, a small group of people at a time? So again, here's a free way to go ahead and do your survey to your people. Again, if you've got SurveyMonkey, you've got these other ways of doing surveys, more power to you. Go for it, do it. But I just wanted to share with you guys a free way of doing a church survey through Google Forms. Okay. Now, when it comes back, you'll have all of these answers in this response section right here. Okay. So obviously we don't have responses right now, but it'll tally all of the responses and it'll tell you how many people answered the survey, what their answers were. You can look at kind of overview. You can just see all of them, or you can go into individual. So you can go into, say, 100 people respond. You can look at every single one of them. So maybe there's 5 questions that you ask. You can look at individual questions. So it's not super robust, but man, it gives a lot of great information and it's totally free, very easy to use. I use this quite often, and I've been very, very impressed with how easy it is to use. So again, here's a free way to do your church survey to get more information about how people are feeling about coming back. So hopefully that's helpful. We'll see you guys soon.